Hi guys, welcome to AFC Mobility. We have a mobility class today, so we're going to work on our flexibility, do a bit of core work, and just all around mobility, some stretching, a good full body stretch, and we'll get to work. So we're going to start just with some twists. So we're going to twist through that core, keeping our hips turned to the center, and just turning through the core. For this class, you'll want to grab a mat if you have one, and then a broomstick or like a dowel, or if you have a PVC pipe, we'll put that to use as well. So again, just twisting side to side, keeping those hips turned to the center, twisting through your core. Now we're going to reach up to the sky and then down to our toes, and then back up and back down. So just reaching down as far as you can and then back up. So now we're going to grab onto a wall. If you have a wall or a chair nearby, we're going to grab one foot, bringing it to our chest. And so you're going to hold that balance. If you have good balance, you can just hold on to your knee. Again, getting that stretch in your hamstring, bringing that up to your chest as far as you can. And we're going to hold it there for 30 seconds. So again, if you have a wall, just bringing that knee up, keeping that core engaged, pushing into the ground through your standing foot, picking a spot ahead of you to focus on, keeping that balance. Great work, last 10 seconds. Great work. Now you're going to grab the same foot, bringing it back, so grabbing your foot, your heel, so just holding back. So keeping your hips pushed forward, squeezing your glutes, keeping your core engaged, and again, chest up, looking straight ahead in front of you. If you have good balance, you can just hold that or hold onto a wall as well. Great work. Now we're going to switch sides. So grabbing our other knee, pulling it up towards us, and holding there, so you can hold on with two. Keeping that balance. Keeping that core engaged. Chest up. Great work. So now you're going to grab that foot again, pulling back. So we're going to stretch in through that quad, pushing that knee down, holding back as far as you can. We don't want to force it, keeping that core engaged. Last 10 seconds. Great work. Now we're going to do a squat hold. So we're going to come down to that squat, and you're just going to hold there. So keeping that core engaged, pushing your knees out, and we're going to hold. So as low as you can, keeping that squat. You don't want to lose tension completely at the bottom. So holding that nice squat position, chest up, core engaged, just like you're sitting in a chair. We're going to hold that for 10 more seconds. Great work. So now you're going to grab your broomstick, dowel, or a PVC pipe, whatever you have. We're going to put that to use. So we're going to work that overhead mobility. So bringing up overhead. So again, the closer your hands, the easier, the harder it will be versus the wider. But you want to get that broomstick overhead, and we're going to go down into a squat. So, or even if you don't have a broomstick, just holding your hands overhead, coming down into that squat, sending those hips back, and then back to standing. So some of us may be here, some of our hands might be here. It's just holding our hands overhead, working that core, coming down into that squat, and then back to standing. So nice and controlled. So again, option to hold your broomstick. Pushing up overhead and back down. Sending those hips back. Great work. So now we're going to also use that broomstick. So a nice wide stance, we're going to pull up overhead and then back down. So nice and controlled, pushing tension on that stick. So coming up and then lowering back down. So working that overhead mobility. So coming up overhead and then back. So making sure that posture is nice, tilting your hips forward, squeezing your glutes. You can also use a band for this, holding tension on the band if you don't have a stick. And we'll do 3 more. 1, 2, 3. Great work. Next, we're going to put our stick down. We're going to go down to the ground and do some work from there. So we're going to walk our hands out to plank position, bringing one foot forward into pigeon pose. And then you can also come down to your forearms for more of a stretch. So you want that, pushing that hip forward into the ground, and we're going to hold that for about a minute. There are different variations for this pose. If you have a stool, you can put that front knee on the stool, holding there too as well, getting more deeper into that stretch. Trying to keep your hips turned forward. You want to make sure you're not turning to the side, so keeping those hips turned, holding. Awesome job. Now we're going to switch sides, stepping back. Nice and slow, and switching. So other foot comes forward. Again, you can come down to your forearms. Great work. Last 10 seconds. Awesome job. Now we're going to come back to child's pose. So feet together, knees are apart. You're going to reach out in front of you, keeping your fingertips on the ground, sinking your chest down, shoulders down, and just looking into the ground. We're going to hold this for a minute. So again, if you'd like more of a stretch, you could elevate your arms up onto a stool or a chair, whatever you have, sinking in, pushing in through your shoulders. Some nice deep breaths, inhale and exhale. Great work. We have 10 seconds left. 3, 2, 1. Awesome job. So we'll come up from that. Now we're going to be on our hands and knees. You're going to start with your knee to elbow together and then coming back. So for this one, we really want to make sure we're not arching our back. If I were to hold the broomstick, I want my back to be nice and straight like the broomstick. So keeping my hips turned, I don't want to arch my back. So keeping my back up nice and straight, nice and controlled. We're working that core and then back out. So when we kick out, we want to make sure we're not turning our back down, arching our back. So nice and controlled. That arm is stacked nicely and keeping our core engaged. So we're going to do 10 of these. So nice and controlled. 1, 2. So knee to elbow, opposite knee, opposite elbow. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 2 more. 9, 10. Now we're going to switch sides. So again, opposite knee to elbow, reaching out, making sure you're not arching that back, keeping that core engaged, belly button to spine, reaching out, and then in back together. 2, 3, inhale and exhale. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Great work. Now from here, we're going to go down to our backs. We're going to do a bit of core work back here. So first off, we're going to hold hollow hold. So our back, we want our low back glued to the ground, getting your shoulder blades off the ground, and we're going to hold here. So holding that, pushing your belly button in towards your spine, keeping your core engaged, and pushing that low back into the ground. So toes are together, shoulders up. So this will be the most challenging. You can also hold your broomstick overhead to make it more challenging. Other option is arms by your side will make it easier, or tucking in your feet will be the easiest variation. So holding there. So pick one that works for you, and we're gonna hold that for 20 seconds. So again, you can tuck in your knees, holding last 10. So keeping that back glued to the ground. 3, 2, 1. Great work. So now we will rest for a minute. Next we have bird dog. So again, that back is going to be pushed into the ground. You want to make sure there's no room for you to stick your hand underneath. You're going to extend out one leg, arms are going to come back, and then alternating sides. So again, belly button into your spine, keeping that core engaged, extending out and back together. So 1, 2, again, nice and controlled, pushing that low back into the ground. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, Great work. Quick rest, and then we're gonna go back to our hollow hold. So again, pick a hollow hold variation that works for you. You can tuck in your knees, that will make it easier, but you just wanna make sure you're engaging that core, pushing your low back into the ground. And we're gonna get started in 3, 2, let's go. So again, holding, this will be the most challenging variation, hands overhead, or tucking your knees in will make it easier, or hands down. Last 10 seconds. And rest, great work. So quick rest, and then we're gonna go back to our dead bug. So again, knees up, knees are bent. You're gonna extend out one leg, again, pushing into the ground through your lower back, engaging your core, and we'll get started. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Awesome job. Now we are going to sit up. We're going to put our feet out in front of us. Back is nice and straight, chest up. We're going to reach for our toes, just as far as you can reach. If you can't get that far, just reaching for past your knees, as far as you can reach. So reaching into it. Next, we're going to bring one knee in towards our chest. So still sitting down on the ground, pushing into the ground. So again, back is nice and straight, chest up, bringing one knee in as far as you can, holding that knee towards your chest. Shoulders are back. I'm looking straight ahead in front of me. So we can continue holding here, or you can bring one knee over. So crossing it over your straightened leg and then reaching to the side, so twisting the opposite direction over that bent leg. So that is your other option, or you can just hold here. So if you would like to get more of a stretch, we're gonna reach, so twisting over that front leg, and we're gonna hold for 30 seconds. So turning that chest. Last 5 seconds. Great work. Now we're going to bring our other knee in towards our chest. So again, shoulders back, chest up, holding that knee in. And we're just going to hold there. So again, you can continue holding there, or bringing that knee over your straightened leg and then twisting over. So keeping that chest up, and we'll get started. We'll hold that for 30 seconds. So again, we're just holding. That back is nice and straight, shoulders are back, chest is up. Last 10 seconds. Great work. Now we're gonna come back up to standing. And we're gonna walk out to downward dog. So stretching that back. So pushing up to the ceiling, pressing into the ground through your feet and your hands. So just pressing down, kind of sinking into it. We're just gonna hold here. Now we're gonna press forward into upward dog. Pushing those hips down, chest up, looking up, and again, holding. If this is too much for you on your back, you can always come back to child's pose. It's always another option. So now we're gonna come back up to upward dog. So reaching there. Sorry, downward dog. Pushing into the ground. And then back to upward dog. Now we're gonna stand back up. You're gonna grab your post, your stick, or whatever you have. If you have a chair, you can hold on to the back of the chair. We're gonna stretch our back and our shoulders, so we're gonna hold onto that post, having a nice wide stance, so my feet are a little wider than shoulder width. I'm gonna hold onto that post. I'm gonna lean down, pressing in, and then just getting a good stretch in the shoulders. So my back is nice and straight, pushing my tailbone back, and just holding it there. So you can sink into it more, but just holding there. Again, the lower down on the post, the more stretch you will get. But keeping that back nice and straight, pushing that tailbone back. And we're gonna hold for 20 more seconds. Great work. So next we're just gonna finish off with some big arm circles. So moving those arms, nice big circles like we're painting circles beside us. Hands out nice and wide. So again, keeping that chest up. And let's switch directions. So coming forward. Now we're gonna pull one arm across our chest, holding there. And switching, so other arm across, holding. Now we're gonna pull up, holding our arm up. You can grab your wrist, so just pulling in slightly, just getting a slight stretch in this shoulder on here, again from that overhead mobility work. And we're gonna switch sides, so other arm up. Great work, guys. That was our mobility class for today. Thanks for joining me. Let me know what you thought, and we'll see you next time.